This week on OT Life Hacks, I'm going to show you how to make a sensory lap pad. You're going to need some sort of weighted pellets, or rice or beans work as long as you make a washable cover. Variety of fabrics, ribbons, strings, buttons, zippers, tassels, or anything fun feeling that might be an interesting sensory activity. Basically, whatever feels kind of cool to run through your fingers will work. Cut out your fabrics in the size that you want. You can go anything from a large blanket down to a tiny little lap pad. You can use patterned, plain, fuzzy, sparkly, whatever the child that you're making it for will be interested in, or adult. These work great for adults as well. If you're looking for something that's very calming, go with something neutral. But of course, here we're dressing up one side neutral, the other side with a picture of a New Holland tractor for a child that likes tractors. You're gonna, once you have them cut, you're gonna lay them so that the outsides are facing each other. When we sew it, we're going to sew along the edge and then turn it right side out again. All right, once you've stitched the fabric together, make sure you leave an opening, don't stitch it all the way closed. Then we can turn it back to right side out. Now my buttons and fun things are on there already. I did rounded corners on mine, simply because I've found that corners tend to get picked at too much. So isn't that fun? And I'm going to make, with the extra fabric, I'm going to cut out some of these cars, put a little applique on the back so they're sturdy, and put buttonholes in the middle so they can then button cars and road signs onto this black roadway on the back. So we have this little opening. Fantastic. I'm going to take my fill and I'm going to put it in here just to fill like maybe the bottom quarter, and then I'm going to do a stitch across just to section it, and that keeps it from being like a giant bean bag where it all can go into one corner and one's empty. If you want, you can even at this point stitch up and make some columns and then fill each little section in your columns and then stitch across. So it's almost like a quilt with different little squares of weight fill, and that helps even more to keep the weight from shifting too much when the child's manipulating it. All right, next step, here we go. Okay, so we have all the stitching in and filled with beans. So we're going to fold in the closure and pin it. Okay, and we're going to do the last couple stitches to close this section so that we have nice section beans. And you might at the end need to use a zigzag stitch or even hand stitch. I like to hand stitch the closures sometimes. Sometimes it's a little tighter that way.